Hey, okay. Um, I haven't done any updates in a while because I have been working tirelessly on the camera that I said I was going to do. A lot of people know that I'm very into the prepping community. And one thing that I realized is that the cameras out there, whether it be Nest or Ring or whatever, the Blinks, or there's a whole bunch of different cameras out there, but none of them are really geared toward preppers. And one thing I realize is, if, especially with stuff that's going on in the world now, the hackers are, that's the new war, in cyberspace. Whether it's hacking drones, hacking bank accounts, hacking entire bank networks, infrastructure, electricity company, water companies, they're hacking everything. I mean, it literally is as bad as it can get, but they're keeping that from you guys. So one of the things that I realize is a lot of these cameras that are on the market are geared mainly towards a network, and you have to be on the internet. So try disconnecting your router for a day and using your security cameras and your Alexas and all that. Well, they're not going to work if they hack the power supply. Good luck. But that's another thing altogether. But my point is, I wanted to make a camera that I could basically have in case power goes out and the security camera would still work. And if the internet's down, I still wanted a camera that could alert me. So that's what I've been doing for the past month, or a little bit over a month, and working on a camera. So the first camera, my first idea was I needed something cheap. I went out and bought a camera, and they wanted to pay the service fees every month for for a year or monthly, whatever it was. And I was like, and you couldn't save anything if you didn't pay for it. So you couldn't save video. You could save a couple pictures, but that's it. The problem came in, I realized, is it was the cameras out there, they're still too dependent on the internet and a company being available. So I was like, okay, I heard about the ESP32. I had a couple of them over a couple of years ago. I bought some and I played with them, tinkered around. But this time I was like, okay, I'm going to get serious. Now, the ESP32 Cam is this little guy right here. That's it. This little dude right here. That little bitty camera. This is only a 2 megapixel camera. So you shouldn't, and you, talking what, 2010, 2005 technology, 2 megapixels. Okay. But it's a security camera. That's all I'd need to do. If I was going to build something like this, this would be fine. It's small. I mean, come on. Fits in the palm of your hand. But a lot of these security cameras, they rely on previous images to detect if there's a person or an intruder. So it compares one image to another image to say, hey, there's a change between this image and this image. Alert you. Okay, there's movement. Cool. I like that idea, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I'm going to eventually incorporate that into my system. But I also wanted to incorporate one of these little guys. This is what you see when some of you have them on at your job, where you walk in and you don't have to turn on the light because it's an infrared sensor. It senses your body heat. So triggers it. So I was like, that would be kind of cool. That would save on overworking this little guy for motion detection. Warm body, boom, caught you. So also these things have a right here, right there. That's an SD card reader. So you could save videos and pictures right on the card, right on the camera here. So I downloaded when you you get an ESP32 or an Arduino system, you usually download the Arduino IDE, and that has a plethora of software free that people wrote for different things. You know, cameras, infrared sensors, you name it, motor drivers. Now, my 3D printer over there was actually one of the things that people put together, just like I did, and put all these programs, and it controls the motors, controls the heaters, the print heads, the whole 9 yards. So there's nothing you can't do with these little Arduinos and now the ESP32. So back to my camera thing. When I got the software, for the Arduino IDE, it came with software that's pretty much the standard for the ESP32 cams. And specifically the OV2640, I believe, is camera sensor. The two stands for 2 megapixels. So I did that. I ran it, and then I noticed no matter how good you get it, they're still kind of cheap cameras. But I tweaked the software, and I wrote new software from the standard, and I think I was able to get it pretty good, you know. So for security camera, I'll let you decide. Okay, as you can see, the one on the left is the ESP32 cam. The one on the right is my very expensive Logitech webcam, stream cam. Everything's brighter, you know, it looks bright. It's meant for streaming, but quality? Yeah. I think the quality on my ESP32 camera is more realistic and it's better quality. But as you can tell, as I sit back and sit forward, there's some lag, some serious lag. And after tinkering for a while, I realized that lag was coming at the cost of the quality. So yes, you can get good quality, you can do, but I wanted something that was fast, that can work wirelessly, just like all the other cameras, and get good quality as well as fast response times. Because eventually I wanted to, you know, make it into a targeting system. But, as you can see, great quality. I can see you great, but you know, look at all the detail of my stuff in the back. You know, you look at one picture, it's you can see it. It's clear. It's bright. Whee! But details, nah. The one that I programmed definitely has. You could see more detail in the picture. So this is where I have been going nuts. I wanted something that could possibly use for motion tracking and, if I needed to, targeting systems. Now, this is my new and improved camera. Pretty fast. Detail isn't quite as good as far as quality goes. I think the other one mm, it's good quality, but look at that. Yeah, this is keeping up with me. And they're both being transmitted because all three cameras are right next to each other. The one on the main camera, obviously that one's going to be directly to the computer, directly to the screen, no lag. These two cameras here, well, they're going through the wireless network, so they're completely dependent on your network. And if you got kids that are gaming, there's going to be lag. There's just no way around it. My way around that is to create a separate network with separate bandwidth, because I plan to have more cameras around the house for security. So here, as you can see, boom. And of course my son's gaming, so there's every once in a while you get a little lag, but the lag is because right now they're all the cameras, all the phones, all the tablets, computers, oh, you name it, the cable boxes, they're all on the same network, all of them, except for a few things that are on a different bandwidth. It's still on the same network. So that's where you kind of have to play around. But I don't expect anybody to go that far as building an entirely new wireless network. But if you're a prepper and security is an issue and you want something that's private, but you can still access it from outside if the internet is up and you want to, you could do that too. But this are all the comparisons. You have the original ESP32, and you have the new and improved, and you have the very expensive web streaming cam. All of them are, as you can tell, they have their pluses and minuses. If you were looking at this from a prepper point of view or trying to save some money, the ESP32 camera is a good option. I am definitely going to advance this. I think I can get the quality better. In fact, I know I can get the quality better on, let's see, not that one. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that one. But between this, the expensive camera, and my camera, as you can see, there's not much difference. Sometimes you get some lag, sometimes you don't. But again, we're talking about a security camera. It's not that grainy, and the response time is pretty good. And again, that is completely dependent on network. And we're comparing something going through the wireless compared to something that's plugged directly into a computer. That's a big difference. So, all in all, I'm going to be making web pages for the camera, and the camera will serve both as a security camera as well as a access point. So there's a lot of fun things that me and my son will have to be doing, Damian. But this will definitely be a camera. Between the infrared sensor, the card, we're gonna put some servo motors like this in here. This was one of my early prototypes. For a prepper, yeah, this is going to be something you want to have, because if you have a camera right now, you know where it sits is where it sits. This camera, if you're at home, you'll be able to make the camera pan around, look up and down. That's the goal. That's more of a security camera. what they have you considering a security camera, if you want to call it that. But every place that I've known that had security cameras and security was an issue, yeah, you best believe they had the ability to zoom around and look and double check in case one camera has a blind spot or goes down. There's a second camera you can use as backup to say, hey, that camera is kind of glitchy. I don't know, something's wrong. You zoom over and like, oh, that guy is why the camera's not working right. Got it. So, yeah. Now that as soon as I'm done with the web pages, I'll get back to doing the basement and everything. But I definitely wanted to make sure I get this camera thing going because I've had a lot of preppers. And actually some people in town, they're not happy with the current situation on how dependent they are on their Amazon and their Ring systems when the power goes out. And out here our power goes out all the time. It's the Midwest. I mean, come on. Power's gonna go out. That's just given. It's a given. Wind, snow, rain, ice, fire. And it's the Midwest. That's how we roll. If you're not a prepper in the Midwest, well, yeah, well, let's just say, don't come knocking at my door. So that's the latest update. So you guys have a good weekend. Have a good holiday. Later.